Now we turn to the Torah service, which is the central part of this morning Shabbat celebration, bar mitzvah celebration. And now we're going to do exactly what I promised you we were going to do earlier. Remove a Torah scroll from the ark, pass it from father to son, from generation to generation, recreating that sort of 3,000+ year relay race of handing this Torah off forever. So I invite you please to rise for the Torah service, which begins on page 23, and invite cousins Christine, Jeremy, and Julian and Kathleen to come help us with opening the ark, and invite parents to come and join us here as well. Other side. There we go. We listen to the cantor and then we repeat. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shmo.
Adonai HaGedola HaGevora HaTiferet HaNetzach HaHod.
Please be seated. So, in just a minute, we're turning to the Torah. You can find this week's Torah portion in the middle of your prayer book, beginning on page 28. And as most of you know, as I mentioned, the Torah contains the 5 books of Moses, and so every week in Jewish tradition we read another section in an annual cycle, and we're at the end We happen to be just about at the very, very end of the book of Deuteronomy, which is the last book. And anybody know what happens at the end of Deuteronomy? We're all the way at the end. We've had all of that Genesis stuff, all of that creation story, all the slavery in Egypt, then 40 years of wandering in the desert. We're just coming up to the very edge of the Jordan River. We, the children of Israel, about to cross into the Promised Land. Of course, we never get there in the Torah because we're right in the just about to do it. And then, of course, a couple weeks, as soon as the holidays are over, we start in again with creation. So what's happening at the very end? Just as we're about over Moses, what happens to Moses? He dies. Yes, he dies. It's a tough deal for Moses. Here he is schlepping people for 40 years to get to the Promised Land, and he dies. And in fact, it's in this week's Torah portion, in what's called the Maftir, the last section, where that Scott's has his official aliyah, which is on page 30, when in fact God tells Moses he gets the bad news. God tells Moses, you shall die on the mountain that you're about to ascend and will be gathered to your kin, as your brother Aaron died on Mount Hor and was gathered to his kin. Would you want to hear that? So here's the question. People ask this question all the time. Would you want to know? Moses has this relationship with God where they talk, like kind of like you and I are talking, you know, or that's how it's written in the Torah anyway, sort of person to person. And in fact, one of the things that distinguishes Moses in the Torah is he's the only person, according to the Torah, that gets to speak panim el panim, face to face with God, which is, I suppose, the good news, but sometimes isn't such good conversations. So this is one of those conversations where God tells Moses about his impending death. So would you want to know, if you had a choice, would you want to know that your death was coming or not? Like Moses gets to know. This is now not a rhetorical question. This is now an actual question. So, yes. Why would you want to know? Since you're brave enough to say yes. So if you were going to know, Moses gets told, oh, well, you're going to go ascend that mountain and then that's it. It would give you some time to do what? Prepare the children. What else? Kiss your wife goodbye. Yeah. Kiss your wife goodbye. Prepare the children.